Hello guys, so this is Kat's Cooking Part 2 and today I'm going to teach you how to make bolognese from scratch. So I have everything I need here, just slightly off camera, so I will show you. But just now we have, I don't know how well you can see that, but I have some pasta in water. So I'm going to put that on, that one, to boil while I do this with a bit of salt. Again, this is a to taste thing with the salt. It was about 100 grams of pasta, just so you all know. So give that a stir and wait for that while we do the actual bolognese portion. So I have lean beef steak mince, 5% fat. So we have that. I'm going to take this out and pop it in the pan, like so. Yes, I washed my hands beforehand, people, just so you're aware. Okay, so we'll take that away. What I'm going to do actually, do I have any? No. Okay, normally I would put oil in this as well, but I do not have oil. My mince is still a little bit frozen in the middle, but that's okay. Frozen mince still cooks. So I have smush that up a bit while I'm waiting on the pan heating up. What you also want to do is grab an oxo cube, beef oxo cube preferably. Again, you can do this with different things. So if you're vegetarian, you can obviously use corn mince, or I have completely forgotten all and any other kind of brands, but yes, you can use the vegetarian mince. You can use turkey mince. You can use anything. Really the main, obviously there's going to be a bit of a difference in the taste, but the main thing is just the oxo cube. If you're using turkey season, if you're using turkey mince, I would use like a turkey or a chicken seasoning, or you can use the beef if you want. Obviously I'm going to guess there is flavourings for things like tofu and stuff as well, so you can do that. So I've just added in the stock cube, just one stock cube. I do add one stock cube with most mince amounts, so I wouldn't really say it changes based on the amount of mince I have. That is entirely a preference though. I just like having mine with the one beef stock cube. Now, how much mince did I get actually? That was 500 grams of mince with one oxo cube, and I do think it works the best. I'm throwing things everywhere. I'm ridiculous, honestly. So yeah, just going to fry that up. Don't worry if you don't have oil, because as much as this is 5% fat, it does have its own fat in it, so it will kind of oil it up. I would say that using oil is better, but really I do it both ways, so it doesn't really matter. So while I'm giving that a little minute, we'll go over some other things. I've got about 100 grams of onions here. About 100 grams of carrots. Again, they're both frozen. You can choose whatever other veg you want in it. This is normally what I would go for. Maybe some peppers, but I couldn't find peppers, so but we have that. So you can add anything else to it. Add some peas, anything like that. I have Italian seasoning, lean parents, Worcestershire sauce. That's always a great one to try, say. Worcestershire sauce. Got some paprika, salt obviously, pepper, and I'm using passata with garlic, but if I wasn't, or I was just going to use the tin of chopped tomatoes that I also have, add garlic. Honestly, it saves the day. So yes, as I said, passata with garlic as well, tomato puree, and then I've got the tin of chopped tomatoes as well. That is entirely optional. Normally, yeah, maybe put oil in so it doesn't stick to the pan. That was my bad. I should have got oil out the cupboard, but I completely forgot. But yeah, just keep stirring it. Don't let it get too. Don't let it sit too long. Sorry. This is a proper cook with me this time, so I am a little bit out of whack, but we're just making this bolognese. So if you just brown the mince, just keep mixing it and breaking it up till it's all brown. I do have mine on 6. I'm going to turn it down to 4 now. So a wee bit in there. I will open the passata. Just waiting on the pasta to start boiling. So there's my scissors. So I will pre-open my passata so it is ready to go, because I'm definitely using the passata. You can drain the mince if you want to get rid of the fat, but don't worry about it at the same time, because it does add to it. So while the fat is there and I'm still mixing a bit, I'm going to add in the onions and the carrots. So they are frozen, but obviously you can use fresh, you can use tinned. I have used both, so I wouldn't say it affects the flavour of it really. It's just whatever's easiest for you, but I do tend to have frozen veg a lot more because it will last longer and it is a wee bit cheaper. So yeah, so just add it in, mix it in. Now the salt and pepper, personally, again, seasoning to me, no thanks, it's a taste thing. Taste as you go. If you're new to cooking, taste as you go. It is the best way to learn, which is great. So I will always add the salt and pepper into the meat. Oopsies. Not doing very good at this, but I will always add the salt and pepper into the meat. I just think it gives it that bit more flavour, bit more dimension, a little bit more cooked in. So yeah, we were just sitting, give it a minute. I'm still waiting on this pasta to get boiling, but that's fine. So yeah, hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I was actually helping Mum at the office today. She went to the dentist. And I decided that I would make this dinner for her coming home. So yeah, it's just, even bolognese from scratch this might not even be from scratch to some people, but yes, bolognese like this can be quick and easy. And you know what, getting a tub of passata or tinned tomatoes is cheaper than getting dolmio, ragu, or any of the, even the own brand bolognese. Just buy a tin of top tomatoes or passata. I do prefer passata to top tomatoes. It's just chopped tomatoes, sorry. I just feel it's a bit saucier. So I've turned that down to 4, so that's fine. I was going to say something, but I forgot my train of thought there. So yeah, now I do still have a bit of fat there. I could mix it a little bit more. No, it's entirely up to you. Wait for the fat to absorb back in, drain the fat, keep mixing it in. This, again, it is entirely your preference. I have done it every which way possible to find out what way works best for me. I have drained the fat. I have not drained the fat. I've let it all absorb back in. I've left some of the fat there to absorb into the veg and other stuff. It's just, it is a preference thing. I prefer to let it cook back in, but I am the type of person that will buy the 5% fat. So it's not too much, but it's enough. And you just mix it in. And of course, again, adding the veg and whatnot to it just bulks it up, gives it a bit of extra flavour. My frozen carrots are sticking together. We'll get there. But yeah, don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to experiment. It's great fun. So, I will check how much fat is there. As well, don't be scared to make too much. That is the great thing about meals like this, is you can tub them up and save them for later. And I do always think that bolognese tastes better the next day when you've left it sitting for a minute. It's so good. So now I'm just going to add the passata with garlic. I'll just add the whole carton. So this is a 500 gram, little as the zone carton of passata. Now obviously this has garlic in it. I may still add a bit more. I don't know. I do love garlic. But because it is one with garlic, I won't at this minute. just mix that in, see how saucy it is. Make sure it's at a good amount. I like my bolognese to be really quite saucy. I like this sauce. I have barely been looking at this camera. I've been looking at my bolognese more, I feel like, so I do apologise. But we do have to keep an eye on the food. We don't want it to burn. So yes, now that I've added the passata in, I'll turn it down a bit more to 2, just so it can simmer away. So now I will add tomato puree. I'm actually going to get a teaspoon for that, because that is one that I do tend to measure, especially with passata. So about a teaspoon of tomato puree when it comes out. Thank you. Put that in the wash. Yep, there's another tip for you to keep your kitchen clean, and I really need to remember to stick to it myself. But clean as you go, even if you're putting things in the sink, just clean as you go. When things like that happen as well, don't be scared to take it off the heat, because sometimes it just needs a minute to cool down. Like, you're getting a bit, oh, I've been turning down the wrong one, that's why. Always make sure you're turning up and down the right hobs, because I've just been turning my pasta down. I mean, that, again, not the end of the world. So it's all good. So now what I'll do is I'll add Italian seasoning. Now, I will be a bit heavy with this. Ow, that's really hot. Watch for things like that as well, for it bubbling, because that's never fun. Very splattery, very hot. So yeah, just be careful. But as I said, Italian seasoning. And now that I have the sauce out, in fact, you know what? I'm going to take this off the heat for a wee second while I add the seasoning. So I'll be a bit heavy with that. Again, it is up to you. Add a little and then taste it and see how you like it. Obviously, I've been doing this for a while, so I know exactly how I like mine. So at this point, I've almost perfected the seasoning. But yeah, add a little, taste it, see how you like it, because I know that some people don't like paprika, and some people don't like oregano and stuff like that. So always taste it, always test it as you go. And just make sure that it's to your tasting. Because if you're making it for you, you have to enjoy it. So yes, I just added in the paprika and the Italian seasoning. I'm now going to add in a bit of Worcestershire sauce. If I'm opening this one and there's one already open, my mum's going to hate me. So yeah, always make sure of these things, people. Don't be me and just go for it. So that was about 5 shakes of Worcestershire sauce. I'm just going to mix it in and pop it back on the heat now that it's cooled down a bit. Just mix it all in. Now what I will do as well, and I tend to do this when I'm cooking, this is entirely up to you though. So we have 2 different types of cheeses. I am putting in some hard cheese, which is basically Parmesan. I'm just going to give that a little mix in, just so that there's a nice cheesy flavour through it. It adds dimension. We love this, and it is as simple as that to make a bolognese from scratch. So have a little try while that's boiling away. It's really hot, as you can see the amount of steam coming off of this. Other thing I would say is get a teaspoon and try it. Obviously don't just try it straight. I will add in a bit more of this. That is actually quite a lot. Maybe shouldn't have added in that much, but that's okay. The thing about Italian seasoning, it is one of those great ones that just works. I will add in a little bit more garlic, because I don't taste the garlic. So if you're using lazy garlic, right, a teaspoon is really all you need, because it is so potent, it is so strong, it's so flavourful. Give it a mix in. My ring is right down, excellent. So you do want it to simmer when you've added in your seasonings. You want it to simmer away for a few minutes. So now that that's me added that in, I will let it simmer away. If you have a lid, put the lid on. I don't think that's the correct lid, but it'll do for now. That'll keep all that in. And keep an eye on your pasta. That's the great thing about pasta though. The length of time it takes the pasta to cook is about the length of time it'll take the bolognese to be ready. So obviously if you let it simmer for longer, it will be more flavourful. If you let it sit for longer and infuse, you will taste those seasonings a lot more. So just remember to do that. Give yourself the time. Like even when it's ready, cook it and be like, right, that's it ready. I can go get changed. I can go make my cup of tea. I can go put the washer. I can go do whatever it is you have to do. So do it like that. Works perfectly every time. But yeah, that is just a cheaper, slightly cheaper but very simple way of doing bolognese that I discovered over the years that a lot of my friends didn't know how to do. If they were making bolognese, it was mince, jar, done. And adding in different seasonings that you have can change the flavour. Actually, when I was at my partner's, he has, sorry, I have there, a giant seasoning stand that's got thyme, bay leaves. I would normally put bay leaf in this actually. So it's got bay leaves, ginger, paprika, curry powder, putting curry powder in it. Just a mild curry powder. Absolutely amazing. I love it. So try it. Try your own seasonings. Try find your balance. Mix and match. You can obviously use the turkey mince, is great for protein. Obviously, so is, I'm pretty sure, corn. And there could be somebody else. I can't remember the other ones, but changing the meat out, the mince out, I'm saying meat, but mince out for anything like that will help you. It is such an adaptable meal for many things. It can be vegetarian. You can turn it into a lasagna. It can be high protein. You can do anything. I mean, I've added bacon into this before. I've added smoked sausage into it before. Bolognese is another one of those things that is so diversible that you can do so many things with. Right, so now I'm going to turn that ring off. I need to go quickly grab the sieve. That I washed for myself earlier, sorry about that people. So yeah, just drain the pasta. We love draining pasta, so I'm going to take the lid off of this now. Now this is how I do my bolognese, and you don't have to do it this way obviously. You can leave the pasta and do it as you normally would. But mostly for freezing purposes and making later purposes, I make it into the bolognese pasta bake and just add the, I think it was 100 grams of pasta into the bolognese, mix it all up. It just makes it easier to freeze. I'm only grabbing the one tub and I'm off. And you can do it however you like. So the main thing that I would do after this, I'm going to leave this for a couple minutes just to sit and do its thing. The other thing that I would do is add cheese. A lot of cheese. Like, my love of cheese is insane. I will add cheese to everything. Cheese is amazing. So at this point I would maybe add some cheese. But I like putting the pasta in because it just soaks up any extra water that there might be. It makes the pasta taste better. And it just works. It's so much easier just to tub it up and freeze it. So I'll make myself a plate of this. Leave it in the tub for Mum to make herself a plate. And then once she's done that, I will, anything that's left, I'll put it in a tub, I will freeze it, and then I can grab it to go to work today, or Mum can grab it to go to work one day. And it's just a case of taking it out the freezer, the fridge, putting it in the microwave, and it's done. Add extra cheese if you want, don't add extra cheese if you want. It is entirely your decision. So yes, that was how I make my bolognese. Sorry if this was a mess again, guys, but we are getting there slowly but surely. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed my little cook with me. And I hope to see you all soon. Bye guys!